All right. It's 10:45. Hopefully everyone was able to have a nice break, grab some water, some refreshments, do a few things that they needed to do. So we're going to go ahead and be premiering the next video for this. Sorry, the next session, excuse me. So this is the offer and the funnel. Again, we've got about a 20-minute video that's going to be followed by a Q&A session from Jenny. So go ahead and type any questions that you may have in the Q&A as they come up. That way she'll have a nice docket of them to kind of work from. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the volume of the video is all the way up to, so you may need to adjust your volume either way, just to make sure that you can hear the video accordingly. But give me one moment and we will go ahead and get started.
Hi there, it's Jenny from Ads Uncorked. I'm really excited that you're tuning into today's session on the offer and the funnel. Now, this is a really big piece of the puzzle, and I feel like oftentimes business owners are coming to us, and this is the part that, in addition to the tech behind it, that they just are having a difficult time wrapping their heads around. So we have a full session dedicated to creating what your offer is and all of the things that you need to think about behind building a proper funnel to support whatever your end goal is. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. The main thing that I want you to think about here today is beginning with the end in mind. We're going to focus on reverse engineering whatever it is that you want people to do and provide them with the support system to go ahead and book you for your services or purchase your product based on, again, providing for them everything that they need in order to be sure that you are the person they want to work with or purchase from. So I really focus all of my clients on connecting and then converting. So I help them focus on what it is that we need to do to connect with someone who might not know anything about your business. And then what do we need to do to nurture them to the point where they're ready to convert? This customer journey is extremely important. So again, focusing on where do we want them to end up, and then what needs to happen for them to be ready. And then one step further, where are they beginning? And how is it that we take them from the very end to someone who knows a little bit more about us, they're considering booking with us, and then that end goal again, whether they book a service or they purchase a product. Let's go ahead and dive into some examples here. So actually, before we go into our first example, one thing, a little seed I want to plant in your brain is identifying your ideal client or customer. So who is the perfect person to buy your product or purchase your services? Where are they at in their current understanding of who you are as an organization, as a business, or your product? Where are they at in understanding exactly what it is that we should be advertising to them? And what do they know? And almost more importantly, what don't they know? What should you be informing them on for it to be completely evident that you, your business, your product, your service is exactly what they need? All right, so diving in just a little bit further. So what does this person need to know before they're absolutely sure that your product or service is what they need? All right, so first, understanding the product or service. Do they need to see some sort of how-to video from you, showing either how you are helping others in their same scenario, showing your product up close and detailed to show that it's high quality, that is exactly what they want? And do they need to understand the importance of the quality of your product? Sometimes there's even that educational barrier that we need to get past of showing them that, like, hey, this is something that you need. This fills a void or a need that you have in your life. Next, we really want to focus too on knowing that you are it. So do they need to be at a certain point in their life or business before they know you? Before they know that you are exactly what they need? Last, what value are you giving to them? I want you to think about how it is that you can make their life a little bit simpler, a little bit easier. How are you positioning yourself or your product as the perfect solution or the expert in their life? Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into some examples of what this looks like for me and some potential examples as well from clients of mine. So here's how we do it in Ads Uncorked. Now, many agencies come to us and maybe they need some training for their own organization. We have some people who come to us that want everything completely taken off their plate. They're a business owner. They're not going to handle it. And they don't even want us to come in and train. They simply want us to take it off their plate. Now, one of the big barriers that I often have to overcome is that people don't know that there are agencies out there that they can trust. That really is my biggest barrier to entry with many agencies. With many potential clients. They've worked with agencies, they've been burned, they've wasted a lot of money on their own, whatever it might be, they just don't trust that this is going to work. So how do I get around that? Well, what I'm doing is I'm building that level of trust and connection with them. I do that through sending out free tips, tricks, tutorials, updates on Facebook Ads Manager, or just digital marketing in general. I'm posting on all of my social media platforms, letting them know that, hey, we are the experts, we are keeping up on this, so you don't have to. And that really does form that level of trust, so that eventually, when someone does decide that the time is right to work with us, they become raving fans. They're recommending us to all of their friends in their industry, other organizations who might need similar help. And that is truly, again, how I work for someone from not knowing anything about who Ads Uncorked is to referring us out to everyone that they know who might need our help. Again, it's forming that connection with them, realizing exactly where they're at, which is scared, they don't want to waste money, and they don't have time to waste either. So I get past that by offering them free tips, tricks, showing them that we truly know what we're talking about here. And then it gets them to that endpoint where they're booking us for our services and referring us out. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into another example. I work with a lot of e-commerce brands, and I'm just going to dive into one in particular that sells products for mothers and babies. So again, focusing on what do they know and what don't they know? So first, let's take this example. So first, they know that they are looking for swaddles for their baby. Let's just take a new mother, for example. They know that they want a swaddle for their new baby, but do they know that one of my clients in particular has really high quality bamboo swaddles? No, they probably don't know that, nor do they probably know the benefits of using bamboo. So for this client in particular, one of the things that we focus on before creating any kind of ad copy or funnel or whatever it might be is really diving into what is it that's special about them, their business, and their product. So for them, they were like, well, the bamboo swaddles are lightweight, they're hypoallergenic, they're gentle on the baby's skin, and they're suitable for all climates. So these are things that someone off the street, a mother off the street, a mother seeing this ad, they wouldn't necessarily know that, right? So there's that educational element that we focus on all of their ads, is really letting people know, how does this help them? How will this help them? Even if they don't understand that they need that help yet, it's again, focusing on what it is that we need to get them from, focus on how we get them from not knowing anything about this brand to being ready to purchase. All right, so here's an example. If you want them to realize that the bamboo products, so these bamboo swaddles, are what they need, I would consider creating a video of moms raving about their blankets, the benefits of bamboo over other material. And we would do this. We would showcase these products before saying, go ahead and make a purchase. So there's a couple examples for you again of what it looks like for a service-based and what it looks like for a product-based. So again, the service-based is really focusing on what those pain points are and how your service fits exactly what they need. And then for our products, again, it's really showing that value add, showing that high quality nature, showing whatever it is that they need to know that this is the product they want. So at the end of this session, what I'm going to do is I would love to take some examples from anybody who is attending here live. I would love to know about you, your business, and how it is that we can go ahead and get people from not knowing about you to knowing that you are the perfect solution. So we will do that at the end of this session. All right, so we've talked a bit about getting people from point A to point C, but how do ads play into this picture? Well, this is where we go ahead and we talk about advertising funnels. Now, funnels, not as scary as they sound. I have so many people that just cringe, right? How many of you are cringing right now thinking about, oh my gosh, a funnel, a marketing funnel. I don't even know if this is going to work, or maybe this hasn't worked for us in the past. Let's take a step back. They do not have to be scary. They don't have to be gross. Let's break it down into all of the individual elements to get a full picture of what this looks like, especially tying in what we've already talked about here today. All right, so first, top of funnel. Top of funnel is where we are casting our net wide. We are reaching people who don't even know about our business. This is our very first touch point where we are using ads. Now, this is where we can run ads for video views, brand awareness. We're simply drumming up interest if necessary. This is truly that connection piece. Now, the reason I say if it's necessary is because depending on your price point or like of your product or your service, it might not be necessary. This is typically for my higher ticket items where we do need to drum up this interest first before moving down in the funnel. So anyway, just know for some of my clients, we are running top of funnel. For other clients, it isn't necessary. Regardless, this is truly that first connection piece with them. Second, we're moving into the middle of the funnel. The middle of the funnel is where it's time to provide more value, or you can go right for the conversion. So like I said, if we are skipping any kind of video view and brand awareness type ads, we will just go ahead and go right for that conversion if appropriate. So what middle of funnel can look like, I want to talk about not just product-based businesses, but even service-based businesses. So this is where middle of funnel, we are considering offering some free value. So maybe this is a discount on your service or your product. Maybe this is a free guide, a free PDF, having someone sign up for your email list so they can learn more about a certain topic, whatever it might be. Or maybe this is even a free consultation. This is where we want to give. We want to give, bring people in, have that hook to get them either on an email list or purchasing a product, whatever it might be. We want to connect with them and get them in with whatever this hook is that we're running middle of funnel. And last, bottom of funnel, retargeting. What this means is reaching people who have interacted with our business, whether they have clicked to our website, added to cart, maybe they started a form on our website but didn't finish it. We want to be able to reach people who showed and expressed interest in our business and retarget, send them a specific message that says, hey, I saw that you were interested in XYZ, and then fill in the blank with whatever the call to action is. We'll dive into some examples, but bottom of funnel is extremely important. It's where you're going to see the majority of your conversions will typically be coming from bottom of funnel. There are, of course, exceptions, but this is where we will see a lot of conversions for our clients. Now, this is also where a discount is extremely appropriate, especially if you're selling a product. Maybe not if you're doing a service, it depends on whatever your offer is, but this is very appropriate for you to send out your last and your final offer to someone, because again, this isn't going out to everybody. This discount isn't being sent to millions of people. This is simply sent to we're casting our net smaller here. And this is for people who have shown interest in your business in some way, shape, or form. And we want to reach them again with their best and final offer. You know, one foot's in the door, let's get the second one in. All right, so in summary, there are two common funnels. I went ahead, I just literally showed you the diagram of the funnel, but I want to just dive in specifically. I have it written out for you crystal clear. There are two common funnels that we are typically running for our clients. So first is there's more of a straightforward funnel. This is typically for our lower price point product. This is product that might be, say $150 or less product or service. So this is where we can typically go right for the conversion and then go ahead and do another conversion ad, but this is where we are retargeting. So this is to cold audiences, people who don't know us, and then retargeting would be to, again, the people who have expressed interest in your business. Now, some of our clients do require longer nurturing funnels, so this is for higher price product or services. This is where we will be running some brand awareness ads. Maybe these are video view ads, again, drumming up that interest to people who don't know anything about us. Conversion is where we're asking them for, joining an email list, opting into something, downloading a free guide, booking us for a free consultation. That's what that conversion is. And then again, you'll see the same pattern here, retargeting. We're doing heavy retargeting here to make sure that we reach them, especially for those people who were on the fence. All right, so let's go ahead and just run through an example. I had told you that we work with a lot of e-commerce brands. I had given you an example earlier of like the mother baby brand. So here's just a couple screenshots of some ads that we've run recently for them. So this client in particular, they do not require 3 different touch points before someone makes a purchase. We are able to get away with 2. So our first ad, I'm calling it our top of funnel. So this is, again, the first touch point. This is where we're letting them know what value this is bringing to their lives. So top of funnel, we're constantly testing out multiple different versions. That will come later. So we're trying single images, videos, carousels, etc. This is a screenshot of a carousel ad we're running for them. So it just says treasured keepsakes for new moms and their little loves. We help you create the memories you'll never want to forget with memory books, milestone cards, baby journals, and more. So this is, again, an example of an ad that we are letting them know that this will help them capture those very special moments in their lives. And that's really what these mothers are looking for. That's what we've been able to identify, is that these are moms who they want the high quality product and they want to be able to capture these beautiful memories. So this is just an example, again, of an ad that we are casting to a very wide net. So these are, we're testing out multiple different audiences, but essentially we are reaching mothers with young babies with this ad. And so what they can do is they can click and it'll scroll through, or they can swipe and it'll scroll through all of our top performing product that we have. So just want to show you what that looks like, top of funnel. And then bottom of funnel, like I said, this is being shown to anybody who has expressed interest in a product. They've initiated checkout, added to cart, maybe they're on our email list, maybe they are someone who engages with us on Instagram. This is an example of a bottom of funnel ad. Reminder that for bottom of funnel is where we're going really heavy on the discount code. So let's see if this will, oops. All right, well, it's not letting me play because I'm sharing my screen here, but if I were to click play on this, it just says use code OBABY for 15% off, and it's showing these are some of the sheets that someone might have added to cart, baby sheets, and it's showing the sheet on a crib in multiple different ways. So anyway, that's just an example of trying out. Again, you can see a couple different ad types. There are so many different ones, but this was a video and this one was just a carousel. All right, so now that we've discussed what your funnel can look like, how do we structure a Facebook ad campaign to support this funnel? So when you get into Ads Manager, and I will show you this in just a moment here, they are going to prompt you to choose a campaign objective. And this is where we can go for top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. So top of funnel, here it is. We're building awareness. We can either run a brand awareness ad or a reach ad. Middle of funnel, this is where we are running ads for if we want to run traffic to a blog post, engagement on a post, whatever it might be, you can run this middle of funnel. That's typically what this consideration column is. Bottom of funnel, to be completely honest with you, I spend most of my time over here in this conversion column running conversion ads. This is where we can do a conversion to get someone to book you for your service, to purchase your product, even getting someone to download a free guide that you have or a tutorial. I'm typically running these as conversion ads. So while I did label this top, middle, bottom, I want to let you know that that's not a hard set rule. You can kind of shift these around and use them as you will. However, I'm always going to encourage you to focus on what is that end goal. If my end goal is to get someone to purchase, even, let me go back a slide. Whoops. Okay. Okay, so here, even though this was my top of funnel ad, you can see that my focus here was to get people to purchase. So I am running this as a conversion ad because that's what I want people to do. I don't want them to click. I'm not looking for traffic. I'm looking for a purchase. And so even though this is my top of funnel ad, I am running it as a conversion ad. It's one of the biggest mistakes I actually see business owners make, or even just marketing agencies make, is they are running ads as, you know, like a traffic or engagement. But if what you're truly looking for is to get someone to purchase from this, I'm running this as a purchase ad. And bottom of funnel, same here. Obviously, we are looking for people to go ahead and make a purchase, so we are running this one as a conversion as well. So again, this is just the screenshot that you'll see when it's time to create your ad, but I simply wanted you to understand how Facebook essentially sets this up: top, middle, bottom of our funnel. All right, so next thing to think about is if you're struggling a little bit with what kind of value can you provide, how can you build this trust with people who are seeing your ads, just wanted to leave you with a few different things to consider. First, you can run ads to a blog post. That can absolutely be some kind of value that you're giving to them. Maybe it's a blog post on frequently asked questions that you get, or something that you know someone is going to need before they're ready to book your service or buy from you. Video tutorial. This is something I often do, is running ads for some kind of video tutorial. Again, I'd encourage you to have them maybe sign up for an email list and get served this video tutorial, which is what Shannon will be talking about in the email marketing. But you can give them a video tutorial in the form of an email. Maybe your value add is a free consultation. You know that if someone gets on the call, has all of their questions answered, that they're probably going to go ahead and book you versus your competitor for your service. Free consultation, that is a great free value add. Maybe it's even behind the scenes. Some of my clients have extremely high quality product, and what they're looking to do is show people how high quality their product actually is. Showing some behind the scenes footage is totally appropriate for that value and connection piece. Like I mentioned, a freebie or a free trial of a product, absolutely appropriate. And so is a coupon discount. People love a good discount if it's appropriate. I would highly encourage you to think about what kind of discount you want to add, especially if you're some kind of like monthly or ongoing fee for your business. So let's say, for example, you're on a subscription model and people pay you monthly. Just considering you don't want to go crazy and give a 75% off discount just to get them in the door. You want to make sure that it's an appropriate discount, that they will come back because they do see that value after they go ahead and purchase or book with you. But just making sure you're not doing some kind of huge, crazy coupon discount. It should be an appropriate amount. We're typically doing anywhere from 25 to 30% off, depending on if it's like a holiday sale or not. But general time of year, that 25% off is a really nice kind of entry-level discount. All right, so at this point in time, what I'd love to do is go ahead and open this up to Q&A. I want to know, and like I said, I want to take examples from anybody who has attended here today and really help you map out how it is that we're going to get people from not knowing anything about you to going ahead and booking you for your service or purchasing your product.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for that, Jenny. I guess we'll give people a little bit of time to go ahead and get any questions that they have in. One that I have, though, for you, Jenny, is on that last slide, you talked about ways to build trust and provide value, and you listed a handful of different ones. What are some of your favorite ways? I know that they all probably have their uses and certain fits and whatnot, but what are some of your personal favorite ways to build trust and provide value?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, Andy, it really depends on the niche. Do you want to give me like a business type and I can give you my favorite kind of like example? Because I'm thinking, you know, like it looks different for e-commerce versus someone who's a realtor. It looks quite different. Why don't you spit at me a couple ideas and I'll let you know what I think.
Let's go with e-commerce, but a service.
Okay, so well, I would consider them to be different. So like e-commerce would be like product based, but
okay.
So let's do like, okay. So for e-commerce, one of the ways that I like building that, we just call it like, know, and trust factor. So people knowing who this organization is, why they would even want to be interested in buying with them. Reviews. Didn't mention it in that video, but I'm going to say it now. Reviews are huge. So if you have, and you know, this is e-com, but this is also for service-based business owners. So assuming that people like your service, and again, you should be running ads to it because you know that it works, or your product, reviews do phenomenally. There are a couple different fun ways that you can use them too. You know, something that I see working very well these days is if people are leaving like a review on your website or in an Instagram comment or wherever it might be, take a screenshot of that. Of course, ask their permission to use it, but you can use that as the actual image graphic, or you could create a graphic with a screenshot of someone's testimonial. That's something that I love to do because nothing speaks better and more loudly than someone's 5-star review of your product or your service. So yeah, I would say that applies to both e-commerce and service-based business owners.
Wonderful. Well, it looks like we have some questions that have come in. So if you are ready.
Great. Yes. Let me open this up here. So let's see here, Andy. Is it? Oh, okay. Got it. Open. Wonderful. Okay. So Heather has a question here. When you have multiple significantly different audiences, how do we target messages? Wonderful. Okay, so and Heather's question. So again, she's like, if you've got different audiences, different people that you're reaching, what if you're even like reaching businesses in one type of ad and you're reaching consumers in a different type of ad? Heather, what I would say is you need to make sure that so those would be completely separate ad sets. So when you are within your campaign, they might even be different campaigns too. So make sure first and foremost that your targeting is obviously different. But then on top of it, I would have completely different messaging for the business versus the consumer side. Andy, can you give talking permission to Heather? I just want to make sure I'm hitting it on the head and can expand based on what she needs.
You bet. Heather, give me one moment here. All right, you should have the go ahead, Heather, to unmute and communicate with Jenny.
Hey, Jenny.
Hi there.
Yeah, so we work with a whole bunch of different types of, businesses, but that can be anything from I have a hobby and I'm interested in maybe thinking about starting a business to I'm a really large business who wants to send some of my staff members to leadership training. So yeah,
Okay.
Everything from the individual, essentially business to consumer, trying to learn some of the skills, and then really large picture, like, hey, as a business, maybe it's not for you individually, but maybe for someone on your staff to engage with us. So we have quite the big range.
Yes, absolutely. And so this is leadership training, is that right?
Yeah, so we're part of the Small Business Development Center. So we kind of do the whole range of, the entrepreneurial life cycle. So the large picture groups are leadership training, but then the small ones might be the starting a business, getting your LLC in place, those kinds of things. So
Wonderful.
Across the whole life cycle, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, great. So I want to chat a little bit about dive into what this funnel could look like for you. Have you guys set up any kind of ads, or I guess the first thing going through my head is, what is that entry point? Like if we're focusing specifically on the small business owner, so the individual, what entry point? Like, do you guys have any wonderful resources or webinars? Is there anything like that would be a good foot in the door for them?
Yeah, and that one I think in some ways is easier for us because usually they're so small that they're just kind of looking at what are all the resources available, and we're one of those and come up a little bit more easily. Whereas some of the larger organizations, have a lot of resources potentially. So I think in some ways the larger organizations are more challenging. On the small end, we've got some free video websites. We have some consulting opportunities. We have a lot of different ways they can engage. So that one's a little clearer to me, especially given your conversion, kind of that in between step. The bigger ones are a little more broad, I think.
Great. So you're trying to figure out how to construct an appropriate funnel for your B2B side.
Yeah.
So these businesses that are coming to you, or I guess an ideal business that would come to you, what are they coming to you for exactly?
It could be both. It could be an individual who has kind of come through our whole process from the beginning and now they're a leader, or it could be someone who is just a larger organization who maybe has some younger or newer leaders or people that they would like to be leaders in the near future and help support them, but not necessarily that it's such a large organization that they have their own complete internal training process.
Yes. Okay. Got it. Do you guys have access to create some kind of video, a promotional video? Because that's what's going through my head is I feel that actions speak louder than words, and videos can often speak louder than words. And I'm thinking about specifically, this sounds like this could be just a phenomenal opportunity for a business that's growing and ready to take flight, and they have leaders that are ready. And I feel like your ad copy could be, it would be geared towards these businesses and being, even being straightforward of you have these budding leaders within your business, or whatever verbiage makes sense for you, but you have these budding leaders within your business. It's time to take them to the next level. Our organization can do that and have some kind of fun promotional video just showing exactly what it looks like when you guys are doing that leadership type training. That would be the route that I would go, and I would run that as a conversion versus video view. If it was by chance a very small audience, I would consider doing video view, but I have a feeling, do you serve nationwide, or is it just local?
Designed to be local. With our stuff that's online, sometimes could be bigger. Occasionally we'll get smaller smaller markets that don't have some of the resources that the Madison area has.
Sure.
But obviously the intended audience is more local.
Okay. To the Madison area. You know what I would do is I would set up your audiences and first see how large it is. If we're looking at, if you've got a few 100,000 people that Facebook estimates is in your group, I would be comfortable running it as a conversion ad, keeping close tabs on it. So again, I would run a video and your top of funnel, I would run it as a conversion ad using that video, some kind of promo video. And then I would link it over to a form on your website or whatever that appropriate call to action is, however you get people in. Is it filling out a form and someone calls them? But that's what I would do. And then I would also, so that would be like a top of funnel strategy. And then bottom of funnel, I would retarget to people who watched, say like 50% or more of your video, which is an option within Facebook.
Okay.
And do they, I'm trying to think too. So like, so the value add here would be showing them the experience, the behind the scenes. What does this look like when you're doing the training? For retargeting, it's interesting because you don't want to, like what I mentioned in my video, it holds true across the board, is like, you don't necessarily want to offer any kind of discount because I don't want to discount the service that you guys are, discount the perceived value of the service that you guys are offering. And so it's just interesting to think through, like, what would you want to run as a retargeting ad? I think then maybe you could try some testimonials, probably run it as a video as well. But I would be hesitant to do for like a training of this caliber. I'm sure it's pretty robust. I probably wouldn't do any kind of discount, but yeah. So those are just some general thoughts I have for you.
Okay, great. Thanks. That's helpful. And I think others will probably have other situations too, where they've got multiple different audiences, and how do you kind of connect with those? So
yeah. So I would say like main thing is just separating out those funnels. Just treat them as two completely different beasts, because they are, like, just like you said, you know how to get people in on the B2C side, like, how to get your individual in the door. You have a plethora of resources. So that's going to be a completely different message than getting in businesses.
Right. Totally. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Just reading through these questions here. You guys can give me just a moment. I would love, Andy, if you could unmute. We've got Amanda. Amanda is wondering, what type of funnel would you recommend for a service business just launching? Would it be with value such as booking the free consultation? Amanda, could I know a little bit more about what kind of service you provide?
Sure. Can you hear me okay?
I can, yes.
Great. Thank you so much. Yes. So I am a small business and new entrepreneur services where it's, so I've just like the previous, like Heather said, I'll have two different audiences. The new entrepreneur side is for those who've like have the great idea, but have no idea what to do. So it's kind of doing like a package system. Like, we're going to do your website, we'll do your marketing. We're just going to get you launched so you can get that idea going. And the small business side is kind of plugging in missing services. Like, they already exist. And we're talking in their infancy, like 1 to 3 years. They already exist, but maybe they're looking for some better email copy. Maybe their website needs a tweak, stuff like that. So haven't launched, I don't exist. So it's really at that point of, and to answer your other question or other component is, what is the call to action would be booking a free consultation. So that's definitely my driver and what's on my website. So it's really like, how am I getting noticed to, and then please talk to me.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. So I'm smiling right now because I've got an idea that I've seen work wonderfully for a number of clients of mine. And I think it would work really well for your business. You guys wouldn't have heard me talk about it on the screen record, but I'll share it now. Quiz ads do very well. And Amanda, I almost wonder if you could run a quiz. There are a number, if you just Google it, just like, free quiz builder, there are a number of them that can integrate with your website. And essentially what it could do is go ahead and sort people into different categories of why they might need you. So for example, Amanda, it could be questions about, hey, entrepreneur, or hey, business owner. First question, I'm, again, just making this up off the top of my head, but it could be something like, are you struggling with, and then first question could be like, my website copy needs to be done. B, I need a new website. C, I have no email marketing strategy. D, all the above. Okay, then second question. And as you can see, as you're kind of like, as you're going through the layers of all these questions, it eventually would sort them into like, oh, we think that X, Y, and Z service from our company is the best fit for you. Click here to book your free consultation. That's the strategy that I would go about for something like this, because it sounds like you have a number of different services that you can provide to these people, whatever they might need, as small or comprehensive as the package might be. I would consider doing something like a quiz.
Great. And that you think even as totally new, like I haven't even put it on it. Like as part of the launch, this still works because it's aware and it's drawing them in.
Yeah. So here's what I would recommend. I would not do it with like your initial launch or anything like that. I mean, you can create the quiz. I wouldn't spend any money on it for a little bit. What I would say would be get your presence established online, whether you're Facebook, Instagram, both. And then what I would do from there is I would even get maybe like a month or two of very active posting done. So meaning that you're out there at least a few times a week. I would be interacting on stories, and I would be polling your audience to see what service is it that they want from you most? What are the pain points that these people have? Is it that they don't have the financial resources to completely hire a web dev company and they're looking for someone to just do a quick facelift? Or is it someone who, maybe doesn't have the time to build out an email funnel? Whatever it might be, I would just be focusing the first couple months on who are these people? Like, who am I looking to attract? What are their biggest pain points? And maybe you have that put together already, but that's what I would recommend starting with. And it goes back to what I talked about in my first presentation is would not spend any money on this until you know exactly which service or services are going to be those top bread and butter for you. I would focus on that. And then I would build your quiz around driving people in that direction, if it makes sense for them, right? Like, people might answer your quiz questions in such a way that you're like, oh, they don't have maybe the resources available to book you. Maybe there's some other like free resources then on your website that would be a better fit than them jumping on a call with you. And it's not a good fit for them. It's not a good fit for you. So anyway, I would spend some time figuring out who we're looking to reach and setting up some sort of quiz that in a couple months down the road that you could run ads to. And just so you know, little side note, that quiz would be run as a conversion campaign too.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And just a note for everyone here, I've seen the quiz signups. They're really affordable. I really like them. I really like ads for email list growth. So if you have some kind of free resource or a guide, I think that's a phenomenal way to do it. And then I would also highly recommend the quiz too. The same thing is that they're just affordable compared to, like, let's say, getting people to book you for a free consultation. That will cost you more than getting someone to sign up for your email list, where you could gently nudge them throughout emails to be like, hey, as a reminder, we have this free consultation. Would love to jump on a call with you, that kind of thing. All right. Just running through our questions here. Okay. So Nicholas says, are you able to provide any examples of food sales / casual dining / catering? Nicholas, could you, or Indy, could you unmute Nicholas? I would love to know just a little bit more about his business and kind of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, absolutely. Nicholas, you have the go ahead to talk. There you go.
Hi. So it's actually me and Nicholas. My name's Cassandra. We're just using the same computer. Sorry if you hear little things in the background. But so we work for Chick-fil-A, and we are like the marketing team. And I was just curious if there's any like recommendations you have for like specifically targeting like people for catering, or we also do for obviously like hiring ads, but that's a little bit harder because of the things you mentioned earlier. So mainly like food, catering, like we really want to build those this year. And we actually have a second location opening up, so we would also have that to worry about.
Okay, wonderful. So you are looking to get people to book you for events where they need catering. Yeah. So something like this, I'd 100% be running. You guys will see this coming up over and over. I'd be running this as a conversion campaign. I would be running it as a conversion campaign to your website with a form. And that form would be very straightforward and basic, while also providing for them all the details, all the FAQs that people would be asking. What kind of catering, what kind of events would you guys be at? Ideally.
So we do anything from like the more like personal, like family level, like a birthday party, someone doing a graduation, to also like businesses. So whether that's around the holidays, like Christmas is huge for us, but business meetings like breakfast, lunch, we really want to get, we are in a good location that we do have a lot of families and schools, and we also have a lot of businesses. So we kind of can do it all.
Okay, wonderful. So I've worked with a number of people in your niche, and I've got some ideas about how we can break this down. What I would recommend doing is separate out who are those key, I'm going to call them personas. You'll hear me talking about that later again today when we talk about ad copy. But I want you to think about who are those different key personas or groups of people that we'd be looking to reach. So if one of them is our businesses, okay, well, like, business might need you for a luncheon of sorts. And then we've got our second group. That could be like, let's say, I'm going to call it just special occasions. So it's birthday party, bridal shower, whatever it might be, graduation party. And then, so I would separate it out into as many buckets as makes sense to do so. I would have very specific messaging for each of those. One of our clients actually does, they call them like luxury helium balloon displays. If you've seen like beautiful archways or whatnot, if there's a grand opening or a book release or something. And we do the same strategy with them. It works quite well. Is to figure out, so I'd have one campaign, and I'd have it broken out by who we're looking to reach. So they each deserve their own ad set, their own targeting, and their own messaging. So the messaging here is what's going to be extremely important, because let's say it is for catering for, let's say you end up thinking that like baby showers, bridal showers, things like that, or birthday parties, your messaging there would be obviously very, very different than your business messaging. So I'm even thinking messaging like, make this an event they'll never forget. Our catering takes all of the stress off your plate, hit a couple pain points of, like no cleanup time. We show up day of, like whatever, you figure out what those pain points are, address them in the ad copy, and your messaging and your images would be very specific. It would show your product in action. That's a really big takeaway for, not just for you, Mia, but for anybody here. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is it's a very basic, like, I don't want a picture of like a catering crew pushing a cart. I want to see you guys in action. And that goes with anybody's product or service. Right. Even myself. So like I have, you guys have seen my presentation here today. I'm in my office and we've taken photos here, and I've purposely pulled in people for the photos to show people that like, this is my service in action. I don't just want, I have pictures of just me, but if I'm looking to sell something where I'm interacting with others, I really should be using a picture that reflects that. And so same thing goes with just as much lifestyle imagery as possible is what I would recommend. So anyway, Mia, in summary, run a conversion campaign, but separate it out by who you're targeting and have the message and the images be very specific to them.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Okay, let's see here. I'm just checking on time. Okay, great. We've got another 20 minutes or so. All right. So Tracy says, for insurance sales, how does lead generation work under consideration? And would you suggest using it? Andy, would love to have Tracy take the floor here so we can chat a little more.
You bet. Give me one moment here, Tracy. All right, Tracy, if you are with us, you should have the ability to go ahead and chat.
All right. Hi there. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks. Would love to know a little bit more about the type of insurance you have and kind of any pertinent details.
Okay. It's, property casualty, life insurance, that kind of stuff. Okay. And we're trying to get our presence out there on Facebook a little bit more. And each of us salespeople have our own Facebook page. And so this is kind of where we're heading in that direction. But I just was curious about the quotes generated tab. Is that worth doing? And how does that work on their end? What do they show? And
yes, yeah. And so are you talking about natively through the Facebook page?
Yeah, in the middle tier there, it was under that.
Oh, you're talking
Under
about, hold on one
consideration.
Okay, got it. Yes, let me just pull open my screen here and we'll do a little screen share for everybody. All right, this is a great question. We haven't talked too much about this, but this is a really great point to bring up, Tracy. I'm glad we're talking about it. So Tracy's question was, is lead generation something that we should consider for my service-based business owners? Yeah, definitely. There's advantages and disadvantages to running. And what she's talking about is when you select, create your new campaign, right here in the consideration column, there's lead generation. So we have, there are lead gen ads. There are advantages and disadvantages to it. Let me show you what it looks like in actuality when you set this up. So
Awesome.
for
Thank
lead
you.
generation, you get to go ahead and sorry, what did you say?
Oh, no, I said that's great. Thank you.
Yeah. So for lead gen, you get to create a form that someone fills out. I've done this before for service-based businesses. I haven't done it in a little bit. Before iOS 14, our goal was to get people off the platform to our website because we have more control of them on our website. The only reason I'm like a little bit hesitant in saying that is the strategy has shifted this past year, that we can interact more with people who are on Facebook and Instagram with us. It's a bit easier tracking wise to hang on to them and keep them on platform versus off platform. So anyway, just know that any kind of hesitation here was simply because our strategy has shifted a little bit. But what I want to show you is, okay, what this form could look like. So if you are trying to get people, what would you say is like your top performing, or not even top performing, insurance wise? What kind of insurance do you sell most of if you had to narrow it down to one type?
Home and auto. Well,
Home and auto.
Yeah, they usually go hand in hand or bundle together.
Mm-hmm. So what this would look like is you would go ahead and you would create an ad. And I would say, you'd have you'd create it just like you would any other ad. You'd stick in your image, you'd have your text. And again, I would really focus in on why would these people go with, and let me know if you haven't answered this, if you have to think about it, that's okay. But why would people go with you versus one of the other big names that they know?
Yeah, that is the big question. I think that for us, because we're an independent office, we're not just an 800 number. You know who you're going to talk to.
Yes.
I would kind of focus on that. The personal aspect of it, I think, is important to a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I was thinking too. So what I would do is I would have, your image in here be, you helping someone out. It could even potentially be someone who's in an accident. Like you'd have to find the right image for that. But the primary text, what I would focus in on is like, that one-to-one connection. We're here for you when you need it most. We're not just another 800 number. Click here to get your quote today kind of thing. So that's the approach I would take in the ad. And then when we're actually looking at, they call them like the lead generation form. So what I would do is I'd click create form. And then this could be a form for, maybe it's a general form. I guess you'd have to like figure out how many different types of forms you'd be willing to test. But let's just say it was a general form. Oh, my screen is freezing here. Okay. And so then here, do you guys remember earlier today when I was talking about, I'm forgetting who it was that I was talking about. Was it Lisanne? With the more, you can tell Facebook that you want more form submissions or you want higher intent form submissions. I'm typically always going with higher intent because I don't want to pay for people who aren't serious about this or people who might just accidentally, they swipe and they accidentally fill out the form. You're paying for that. You're paying for those impressions and everything like that. So I would switch this over to higher intent. So we want people who are high intent about this. And then you can see here, these are all of the different fields that you get to fill out. And essentially what's going to happen is that you publish this and when they click on your ad, it pulls open this form. So like I would say, quick little intro. Sorry, this is really slow. So you'd go ahead, you can upload an image and then a greeting and you have to decide what's right here. I don't know what kind of messages or questions you guys ask right out the gate, but this is where you can enter in your headline and then you can go ahead and start asking questions. If it's name, email address, and maybe that's all you want to collect, you get to decide. But anyway, you go ahead, enter in whatever
really
questions.
Really quickly, I don't know if you had shared something with the folks, but there's just some comments that have come in saying that they couldn't see.
Oh my gosh. So sorry, everyone. Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Andy.
There we
Always
go.
interrupt.
Okay,
Always
perfect.
interrupt me.
Now
Okay.
we're going. Yeah.
Okay. All right, you guys. So sorry. Let me just take a step back. Well, yeah. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay. My screen is freezing. Oh, snap. Agreed. Let's see. Okay. Here we are. Okay, guys, let me show you what we're looking at. Okay, so again, from the beginning, this is what we're doing here. So I was just setting up. I clicked on create, and then I clicked on a lead generation ad. That's all you really missed, was me just showing you where that is. You set up your, this is our campaign. You set up your audience targeting here, just like we went over in the last session. And then at the ad level, this is where your ad, so in summary, Tracy, your ad's going to look just like any other ad. This is where you would put in your image, your text, your call to action. Like, we're not just another 800 number, period, here for you when you need it, period. That kind of messaging.
Okay.
Then what I was showing you guys, but wasn't showing you, is that underneath, way down here at the bottom, this is where we go ahead and we create the form. So the form looks like this. So you'll see it carries over that same image. So when someone clicks, like if they do learn more or get a quote or whatever it is, then this is what pops up, a form. So you title the form the intro. So this is where, again, you place an image, you have a spot for a headline, and you can say, whatever makes sense to put in here. You can put in some details. And then this is where you get to ask any questions that you want. So again, name, email, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to link this back to, so Tracy's obviously in the insurance world, but if you are someone who's in a service space, like I've run these before for wedding planners. I've run this before for photographers. I've run this before for plumbers, HVAC. It's the same idea. So you can, put in these screening questions that you need. I would make it, it's a fine line between making it as easy as possible for someone to fill out, but also making sure that it's worth your while to then jump on the phone and give them a call. So, oh yeah, in here, so they can, if you by chance want any of this kind of information, there's a bunch of like pre-populated stuff here. So anyway, then what happens is you create this form and then you get all of their contact info when they are filling it out. I'm gonna click publish. Oh. Yeah, and so Tracy, for you, to be honest, don't even know if you need like a 2-step retargeting. I feel like either people are interested or they're not. And so I would just begin, if I were running ads for your business, I would just begin right out the gate with these kind of ads, conversion ad. And I don't even think you'd need any kind of retargeting right now, especially because if we are keeping people on the Facebook platform and we are just getting them to fill out this form, I mean, retargeting the web visitors, yes, you could do that, but I think you'll probably have a good number of your web visitors who are actually paying clients of yours. And so I wouldn't even bother too much with the retargeting aspect right out the gate, at least.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Let me see. I've got one last question. Okay, perfect. Yep, we've got time for one last question here. So Taylor works for a tech college. They're in the professional development and continuing education department. There are times we often are in the shadow of the main part of the college, and our Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn feels very run down. Would you recommend a makeover for our socials? A lot of our posts feel very mundane and not personal. Thank you. All right. Wonderful. Taylor, would love to know. So you work for a tech college. What is the current structure of the tech college's social look like? So is there a main like tech college social page, and then is there like maybe in like an arts department page, or like can you give me the lay of the land of what social looks like across the college?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a little sick right now, so I do apologize. Sorry. So yeah, there are like different like pages, social media pages for kind of like each department. Like we have an entrepreneur department that has their own social. But I think it's really dependent on whether they do want a social. It's not like super structured from what I know. Mm-hmm. And like my manager has been saying like we can use ads or like should we use ads, and just our page is just becoming so like it's been more about like quantity over quality, I would say.
Sure.
And I've been trying to say like we need to like, you know, video what classes that are going right now, what our classes look like. Our students don't understand what's going on and kind of things. And I've been talking to some people and we're just trying to think what can we do to like just revamp it, to like bring it back to life, because it's just so like each post is like, oh, we have this class available, here's the image. We have this class
Yep.
available, here's the image.
Yeah, absolutely. So my main question for you is, and it sounds like it's the question you've been thinking through.
Yeah.
What's the end goal? Are you looking to get people, are you looking to boost enrollment numbers? Is that your job, something you're being measured for?
Yeah, I think boost enrollment numbers, get like our name out there, and yeah, just to show that we are another option for classes other than just credit classes. Yeah.
Okay, great. And when you say you're another option for classes and not just credit classes, do you mean like at your actual college that people, can you like expand on that just a little bit more?
Sorry. Yeah, so we are again like part of the college, and we offer non-credit classes like enrichment classes, and we generally have like the older, I would say on the older generation of people who take these classes. It's really difficult because we're trying to figure out what even social media site we want to focus on, but like Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. But yeah.
Okay, great. So my brain's going in a couple different directions. First, I would say you guys today have heard me say like I go for the conversion. I go for the conversion. Taylor, in this scenario, this is the perfect scenario where I'm not going to go for a conversion. I think you need some brand awareness here. So that first column, if you guys remember, let me do a screen share here. So this is what I'm recommending, Taylor, is for you guys to spend some time. I think 100% without a shadow of a doubt, you all need some sort of promotional video if you're looking to run ads. To be honest, I don't think ads is where I would personally invest my time at this moment. I think developing who you're looking to reach and what message you want to communicate to them. And it sounds like you're kind of there. Like it looks like you guys maybe want to expand. Are you looking to bring in younger students and let them know like, hey, we are a really awesome part of the college. This can enrich your life for so many different reasons, you know, letting them know the benefits. It sounds like you need just like revitalization of your messaging. And so I would absolutely start there. Again, I would not go to ads until you figured out exactly what the brand messaging looks like. To your point, you know, Instagram, TikTok, that's where you're going to be reaching your students, potential students. But if you are, you know, you might also find people who have graduated from college and maybe are coming back, but that messaging looks different, right? Like I think of myself, or even 10 years from now, I might be at a place in my life where I'm just interested in learning for the sake of learning. Like let's, you know, bringing fun back into my life. And maybe I want to take a class on, I don't know, like history or art or something that I didn't do in my undergrad. Like that's completely different messaging than, hey, like, look at us, like, look at all these ways that we can enhance your college experience. Those are very different messages. And so I think you just need to think through, like, what should our first focus be? And this is really organically speaking. So note that this isn't even for ads. I would say first start with organic and figure out, okay, what should our Instagram messaging be? Okay, that's a little bit different than on Facebook. It can be similar. There can be overlap. You can absolutely show what you guys are up to on campus. You can show those classes. I think it would be cool, Taylor, to consider something like an Instagram takeover kind of thing, where people are, you know, where you've got college students, you have interns who work for you that could take over for the day and do a day in the life of an X, Y, and Z major, a day in the life of someone else, you know, a day in the life of the professor. I think something like that could be cool. I would focus a lot on video content. And again, at the core of it though, is who are we looking to reach and why are we the solution?
Okay, awesome.
So Taylor, when the time does come, let's say like 6 months down the road, you guys have just an awesome new social media presence, things have been made over, where I would recommend you spend some time is either brand awareness, probably brand awareness or video views. Again, you can hover over this and you know, read a little bit more about it, but there's not a whole lot of info here. But then I would work on, like, if you guys, I think having some kind of cool promotional video for your tech college would go a very long way.
Okay.
And you know that again, that's even something that I would tap on like internally as an organization. I'm sure you guys have people internally who could shoot something, even if it's a video student on campus making a promo video about campus. So that would be my recommended route.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
And Andy, I think we are. That's time
pretty
for
good.
us.
Pretty good timing right there. We're right.
Yeah, we did all right.
All right. So we are. I got 11. Just turned 11:45. So we will go ahead and cap this session there. Again, I want to remind everybody that there are documents that align with each of these sessions on the Podia site. So when you enter into the Podia site, you'll see each of the sessions in chronological order. It also has the agenda as well as the link to the Zoom page or the where we're at right now in case anything happens or you accidentally click out of it. So we'll go ahead and take about a 15-minute break right now. We'll reconvene at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time here. We've got the next sessions on emails and email Q&A. This is with Shannon Bondi. And then once we're done with that, we will take a break for lunch. So we will see you all here shortly.